So a little bit about us. For those of you who are here for the first time and actually interacting with CSA for the first time, who's the CSA? So formed in 2007, would you believe, coming up, sort of approaching, well, over our 15th year anniversary. It's a not-for-profit, headquartered out of Seattle in the States. We are the UK chapter. So what is our role in this, all of this? And that is basically to champion CSA's global mission here in the UK, with particularly a UK audience. And of course, being that they are a US organization, things can get a little US-centric from time to time, as we all know in this industry. Therefore, there's also an aim, particularly with the EMEA chapters, to make sure that CSA's work stays focused on global rather than just US. Engage with a broad set of UK stakeholders, as it said, champion awareness and training, particularly awareness. And obviously, if you or we have got specific UK or European needs that need addressing, then A, we're a conduit, but also we are capable of doing our own research and getting that published via CSA globally. It all starts with guidance. If you haven't discovered the guidance, I'm going to talk very quickly. This is brand new, hot off the press. So security guidance. CSA all starts with this document. Yeah, and from that, it goes into CCM, Cloud Controls Matrix, which is the control framework for cloud. It goes into what we call CAIQ, C-A-I-Q, which is all those nasty questions. So if you've got an organization that is saying, well, we're doing cloud and our audit people have got all this big, list that we've developed in-house, throw it away, steal this. It's free, steal it. More importantly, the cloud service providers understand it. So they don't, if you talk to a CSP out there, and they will tell you that the bane of their life is getting yet another questionnaire from an audit department of a large corporate, which bears no relevance to everything they've seen before, because they then have to work out how to answer it. If you go in with this, then actually they go, oh yeah, we understand CAIQ, we've already submitted our answers, here it is, very easy. And then finally, there's STAR, which is the Trust and Assurance Registry, which is where vendors, CSPs particularly, can lodge their answers once and completely to that. I'm just going to very quickly, because as I said, this is where it all starts, talk about this. We are going to make all the slides available. So these will be available online. We're not actually streaming this live, but we will be making this available. Security guidance for critical areas of focus in cloud computing, now in version 5. It contains 12 domains. Simple as that, covering all aspects of cloud. I'm not going to nip through these particularly because I've only got 5 minutes. So I'm just going to say we will make the slides available. But cloud computing concepts and architectures, really important. We're going to be talking a little bit about that later with Sean. Deliberately going to be slightly provocative, I think, on the what started out. Surely not. Cloud governance and strategies, because at the end of the day, your audit bodies, your internal auditors, your external auditors, oh, you're doing cloud. What strategies, what governance do you have in place? What strategies do you have in place to make sure the cloud that you are using is fit for purpose for your organization? So domain 2 covers that. Risk audit and compliance, because guess what, in this day and age, risk audit and compliance, I suspect, is everyone's favorite department out there. So again, it covers all of that and all the common risk factors you will find in cloud. So again, if you want the list of nasty questions to ask your IT department, particularly about implementing cloud, or even the business, less so these days when they used to go out with the standard joke of going out with a corporate credit card and buying in a cloud service. Well, most large companies have got that one sorted now. Not all. But if you want to talk to those departments out there, common risk factors, again, go STEEL. Organizational management, how do you organize yourself to manage your provider? Really important. It is outsourcing. If you go to someone, if you do an MBA at Cranfield for IT, Cranfield will tell you that if you're going to outsource, no matter what it is, then actually you should be taking 10% of your outsourcing contract and using that for management of that contract. A little thing we tend to forget when the cloud provider comes in and says, we're going to save you 30%. And you turn around and say, yeah, but I want 10% back, so I manage that contract properly. Identity and access management, one particularly close to my heart. This is where I spend my professional day working in this space now. But how you do identity and access management, federation, and everything else besides, whether it's what I tend to refer to as glue identity providers out there who try to glue all these disparate systems together in on-prem, hybrid, cloud, whatever. Really important. Security monitoring. So how do you monitor that service? Infrastructure and networking. Again, obviously, as much as it's cloud and we don't manage it, well, actually, there still needs to be networking, there still needs to be management of it, and there still needs to be infrastructure, whether it's yours, theirs, hybrid, whatever, again, all covered. Cloud workload. This is a new domain that's been introduced because cloud workload security has become even more important over the last few years. Data security, because at the end of the day, it's all about managing your data in someone else's environment. You forget that one is your peril. Application security, because there's always an app at the end of it, isn't there? Whether it's a web app or an app. Instant response, what are you going to do when it goes wrong? Is your cloud service provider going to tell you when it goes wrong? Always a good question to ask. And then related technologies and strategies. This is sort of the catch-all domain 12, particularly around zero trust. If you have not registered for it yet, then the Cloud Security Alliance is holding a zero trust 2-day virtual conference at the end of this month. And if you haven't registered for it, I would thoroughly recommend it. It should be fun. Some of the leading practitioners in the Zero Trust Initiative. I think there's even sort of, key people from the US government speaking and other bits and pieces. Particularly NIST are leading a lot of this because there is a US government edict that all departments will adopt a zero trust strategy. So if you're not talking about zero trust within your organizations, I suspect you will be very soon. A bit like when cloud first came in and you talk to organizations and they say, what are you doing about cloud? Well, we're adopting a cloud first strategy. Remember that? We don't know what that means, but we're adopting a cloud first strategy. Well, guess what? Zero trust is coming to a business very close to your heart, I suspect very soon, if it hasn't already. And again, the mantra is we are adopting a zero trust first strategy for most organizations. What does it mean? What are you lot going to get faced with by your business? Well, again, thoroughly recommend the Zero Trust CSA conference happening at the end of the month. As I said, it all starts with this document, literally hot off the press. Really easy, cloudsecurityalliance.org. And then artifacts, or just search for it. It's up there on the front page. And as I said, it all starts with guidance.